Hi everybody, I'm Steve Collis from Northern Beaches Christian School. I'm so sorry I can't be at the meeting. It's such a good idea and hopefully I can come to future ones, and this will be the start of something regular. I thought I'd put a quick video together to show a few of the technological things we're doing with languages at NBCS. Not that it's about the technology at all, but it has a role somewhere in there, doesn't it? In Year 8, we actually mainly teach using the gesture method, where gestures are associated with words, and the kids learn basically sign language along with their French, and they perform a play called The Three Little Pigs. But we have 70 minutes in every lesson, and so we have a part of the lesson where it's more technologically driven, and we use Moodle for that. Moodle allows every class in the school to have a web page that they work off. This is the Year 8 French web page, and up on screen, so you can see, for instance, when they're doing assessment tasks up here, often we'll get them to type their answers into the web page, and the computer will actually mark it for us. For Year 8 with 140 students, that makes it a very efficient way of assessing reading comprehension with multiple choice questions based on a text. Here we have the matrix on the web page. So here, the matrix we use a lot. The students self-select into a defined activity. They might click here on the overview page, first of all. And this is the overview page. They select one of these 8 activities depending on their preferred intelligence and their mood on the day. Alright, so they select one of these tasks to do. They're all at the computer, so they can all read these instructions in their own good time. That doesn't need to be teacher-driven. So then once they've chosen their activity, they click on the stimulus card, and that loads up, and they go to the specific stimulus card for the activity that they chose. Okay. Alright, and that gives them specific instructions. For instance, this particular activity says listen to a podcast on the French page, and then go on to do other activities based on that. So note that they then go back to the page and then they click on this podcast link here. So the teacher at no point has had to be involved. The student's driving this process. I'll click there, and this is...
Bonjour. I hope you're having a good day. This audio lesson is going to teach you about some of the tricks of French pronunciation.
So basically they're listening to a recording of the teacher speaking and leading them through some pronunciation tips, and they'll repeat after the teacher, get all of the benefits of teacher input without the teacher actually doing anything apart from recording the materials. So if you picture a typical lesson, we've got 25 kids in the class, every kid's doing something different, they've selected into a different task, they're using different resources that are up on the web page, and it frees up the actual teacher to troubleshoot, to mentor the kids, to coach them, to get beside them and work one-on-one with them where they're needed. So that's we found a really powerful thing to do. Now, in our senior kids, Years 11 and Year 12, we actually set up similar web pages, but absolutely packed with resources. So here on screen is a unit on animals, and so the kids would learn the words for animals by clicking on the animals video, and we've done a video on pronouncing the words for animals.
Do you know the names of the animals? Une souris.
So lots of videos on pronouns, on verbs, and lots of audio recordings here which the kids can put on their iPods. And that's there for the whole course for French beginners and French continuers in Year 11 and Year 12. 40 units full of these resources. So because of that, we can offer French online, and those kids who are doing their HSC for French without ever coming to the school, they're working from home through these resources, and we're having a video conference for 1 hour a week to help with the conversation and to help troubleshoot with things that they're not sure about. So we're relying very heavily on Moodle there. As being a surrogate teacher, that does not mean that the teacher is relieved from their duties at all. The teacher becomes much more effective because they're freed up to actually zone in on where the kids need help. But it's the student themselves who's driving the learning process, and then the teacher who's coming in as a mentor. Okay, moving on from Moodle, we publish blogs. The students publish blogs based on what they're doing. So generally this is intermediate or advanced students, but in this case they're studying The Little Prince, a famous French book. So they're publishing their work at a public website, FrenchOnline.LittlePrince.wordpress.com. In this case, they're writing an alternative ending to the book or a sequel to the book. So this is their French writing. Because it's a well-known book, a lot of kids and a lot of adults are Googling this book. So they find this website and they read what our students have written. You can see all of the different chapter analyses that they've done, character portraits, etc., in French. Now, we've actually had 14,000 visitors to that website. And if you see the map there on the screen, the red dots represent where in the world we're getting visitors from. So the students who are doing this work and publishing this work are aware that they've got an audience of up to 14,000 people around the world reading what they're doing on their weekend for French. So it's very motivational. It's just taking what the students would be doing anyway, but putting it on a platform where the world can appreciate it. And of course they get comments left by people. So we've got a few of those websites. This one's on L'Oeil du Loup, vocab list there. La Fascination, which is a French version of Twilight. We also get the kids to publish resources to help other students learn French. So the Sahul textbook, we've put together a website based on the Sahul textbook, and the kids have uploaded resources to that wiki, to that website, that actually tie in thematically with that textbook. So Unit 2 is Salut, we've got a Voki, we've got a whole bunch of French raps there, kids recorded raps. Let's see if we can play that. The teachers and students from around the world can benefit from those resources when they're doing the same textbook and are up to the same chapter. We do all of that audio recording with Audacity, which I bet you guys already use and know about. And it's a very good, free, useful way of recording audio for teachers and for students. So just to finish off with something a little bit more sort of geeky, this is a 3D virtual world that we run in French. It is a bit tricky to set up, but you can get another company to do it for you for about $75 a month, so it's not too expensive. And this is a 3D virtual world where kids can move around and type to each other in French in a text chat system. Turns out that the kids are very comfortable text chatting to each other. They go home and they MSN each other, they text each other on their phones. So if you can imagine 30 kids in this 3D world sort of moving around and walking around, it's just loading up as I walk around there. I might shout out from the front of the class, say bonjour, and they all type in bonjour. And I can see on the text chat system what all of them have typed, so I can diagnose how they're going really well and give them feedback. And the kids will go into role plays in this world, type away in French. They're very comfortable doing that. They can even select their chatting, the text chat that they've done, the transcript of what they've been typing with each other, and email it through to me for assessment purposes. So they have a lot of fun moving around and interacting in this virtual world. It's a really good cure to the way kids get nervous about communicating in a language, because they're so comfortable in this sort of virtual space. They also make posters using Microsoft Paint or another program, illustrating the grammar that they're learning, and then we put that up in this 3D virtual world, which basically becomes a space for celebration. So that's a bit far out, but once you've got it set up, it works fine. And I take my kids in there most lessons for some text chat drilling, some vocabulary work, just for 10 or 15 minutes. So there we go, a very short and sweet overview there of some of the things we're trying. But we can't wait to hear what you guys are doing, and look forward to exchanging ideas.